Choi Doyan was stunned, staring blankly at the girl beside him. A chilling realization crept into his mind. This wasn't just a simple mistake. She clenched her teeth and spoke softly but clearly. Was this why I was brought here? Doyan looked confused and frightened. No, 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 that's impossible, he stammered. It was really an accident, please believe me. He tried to explain. The door wasn't closing properly, so I tried to fix it, Doyon thought. At this rate, I'm going to die. I'm definitely going to die. Pale and nervous, Doyon said to her, We can't just block the road, can we? I thought the ghost couldn't close the door alone, so I tried to help. He justified himself, insisting he didn't have the guts for something like that. I'm a completely harmless person, he said. He stared at her. She was trembling all over. Back in school days, Doyon continued, my nickname was Shut-In Game Lur. Doyon. He tentatively asked if it would be all right if they just moved to the nearest rest stop ahead. She stared at him, and Doyon nervously looked back, adding, It's okay if you don't want to. A moment passed. Then he saw her smile slightly at his words. She began to speak. Sorry, she said. I guess I laughed because I felt relieved. I was worried that the first person I met might be a weirdo. She thanked Doyon for giving her a ride and introduced herself as Ha Yun, asking for his name. Doyon replied that he was Choi Doyon. Rain poured heavily outside as they drove in silence. Ha Yun broke the quiet. Thank you, she said. You were the only one who gave me a ride in the middle of the night. Doyon smiled softly. Ah, no, it's fine. It's just a slight detour, that's all. She paused then, a strange feeling settling over her. It feels strange. Ha-yun looked outside the window. I never thought I'd get a chance to talk to someone like this again. Her voice turned melancholic. Honestly, I had already given up hope. Doyan glanced at her. If you don't mind, could you tell me what happened? As Doyan drove the car down the highway, he asked Ha-yun, why were you on this road? What were you doing here? Ha-yun hesitated. Seeing her hesitation, Doyan, feeling curious but also wanting to be considerate, said, if it's difficult to talk about, you don't have to. Ha-yun lowered her eyes. I don't know either, she said in a cold tone. She recalled her memories. I was dragged away by a man I'd never seen before, and when I opened my eyes, I was on this highway. At first, she hadn't even realized that she was dead and ran from the place in fear. After some time, she noticed that something was off. She called for people for help, but they just passed by her. That's when she realized that she was dead and couldn't leave this place. Tears welled up in her eyes. When you first spoke to me, she said, I couldn't believe it. She sat curled up again in the car. I'm all alone. She turned to Doyan. When you offered to help, I couldn't refuse. Then she caught herself. Ah, I'm sorry. It had been so long since she had talked to someone. She must have rambled. She forced a soft laugh. She just thought this was her last chance to get out of there. Thank you for helping me. Doyon remained quiet, processing everything. What should he say? How could he comfort this person, even just a little? They kept driving, the city lights growing closer. Ha-yun turned to him as Doyon spoke. What if your family can't see you, Ha-yun? Then Ha-yun asked, would you mind if I stay a little longer? Doyon looked flustered. Ha-yun said, if you look that shocked, it makes me feel a little embarrassed. Could you at least deliver my final message to them? Doyon slightly nodded. Yes, he said. The sun began rising from the horizon as the car ran on the highway. Doyon thought, is this person really just a character in a game? I had so many questions, but at least I truly wished she could meet her family. Suddenly, Doyon's phone buzzed. What the? The date was ending? What kind of system was this? He glanced at Ha-yun, worried. Ha-yun? Doyon watched Ha-yun disappearing slowly. Ha-yun lowered her gaze and said, I always seem to regain my senses only at night. I know it's a selfish request, but if you could help me just a little longer. Doyon interrupted her. I'll be at my parents' house until tomorrow, so I have some time. Doyon nervously asked, can we meet again there? What do you think? He felt like there was still so much left unsaid. Ha-yun smiled and said, yes, I'll be waiting for you tonight. Then, Ha-yun disappeared. Early morning light filtered softly through the car windows as Choi Doyon sat motionless in the driver's seat, staring at his phone. The screen displayed something surreal. The midnight date has ended. A loading bar followed, calculating his romance score. Doyen blinked in confusion as the screen changed again. Score obtained, 80 points. 1 death penalty applied, romance rank B. He furrowed his brows, watching the bizarre message conclude with, "You have earned 40 LP. LP shop has been unlocked." Outside, the sun had finally risen, casting golden rays over the long road ahead. The night, so strange and exhausting, had come to an end. Yet nothing about it made sense. His hand gripped the wheel loosely, eyes locked forward but unfocused. What the hell was this? He thought, silently stunned. The game interface on his phone had left him with more confusion than answers, and the eerie silence from the passenger seat was a haunting reminder that Ha Yan had disappeared without a trace. His heart still thumped uneasily. As the road stretched endlessly before him, Doyon muttered to himself, trying to make sense of it all. What the hell is this thing telling me to do? The system had remained silent since Ha Yun vanished, and in its place was a haunting emptiness that refused to offer closure. His eyes narrowed. LP? Level up? Romance score? This was supposed to be just a game, right? Yet none of this followed game logic. No tutorial, no guidance, just riddles wrapped in haunting experiences. Frustration began to bubble beneath his skin. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel as questions grew louder in his head. What do these scores mean? Who decides what level I am? What happens when I level up? Every inch of this felt orchestrated, and yet he remained blind to the rules of the system controlling his reality. His phone buzzed. A message from Hyung appeared. "Come to my place." The car lurched forward. The road blurred as the vehicle sped ahead. Something had changed again. Doyoung glanced at the car's screen. A call was being made, but the words that echoed from the system chilled him to his core. "Number you are trying to reach is turned off." He felt a shiver crawl up his spine. What the hell is going on with Hyung? Later that evening, Doyon pulled into an underground parking lot. He approached the entrance to his brother's unit. Inside the apartment, he called out, "Hyung." No answer. The place was quiet, too quiet. As he moved further in, his brows furrowed. The light was dim, but the cluttered desk across the room stood out instantly. Photos, papers, red string, an entire investigation wall. He stepped closer, scanning the chaos, notes filled with details, faces he didn't recognize, locations he had never been to. And then he saw it. Ha Yan's photo. Doyeon's breath hitched. His heartbeat quickened. What the hell is this? The words hung in the air like poison. A flyer stared back at him. A missing person alert. Name: Ha Yan, age 19. Last seen in Gangwon-do. It listed her clothing, physical description, and the day she had vanished. Months ago. Doyeon's hand trembled as he picked it up. Ha Yan? Ha Yan was missing. He sat back slowly, his mind unraveling. He had only installed a game, he thought. That's all this was supposed to be, just a stupid game. But the images were too real. The events of last night, her touch, her voice, the way she smiled, it couldn't be fiction. He turned his gaze to the screen again. The logo still blinked. Bishoujo dating simulation game. The title mocked him now. A sinking chill settled in his chest. This isn't a game anymore. So the video ends here. I hope you liked it. Show it by subscribing to the channel and like the video. If you comment for the next part, it will be uploaded as soon as possible. See you then. Bye.